Hello, my name is Nick, and welcome to Watch This Now. Frozen 2 is the sequel that you may have wanted if you were 6 years old when the first one came out, but you've probably outgrown it by now. Royal sisters Elsa and Anna return with their trusty pals Sven, Olaf, and Kristoff in their continuing adventures. When the elements drive the people of Arendelle from their kingdom, our cast of characters set out to explore the enchanted forest and uncover the secrets behind Elsa's powers to save the day. Listen, I'm a sucker for fairy tales, okay? I grew up during the Disney Renaissance. The trifecta is strong in my heart. And I honestly believe that the first Frozen is good enough to be considered a modern-day Disney classic. What's interesting is that Disney really only did sequels to their main properties back in the early 2000s days of direct-to-video. This is the first time they're really franchising one of these fairy tales. And the thing about Frozen 2 is that it doesn't so much feel like a sequel, but the second part in an ongoing saga. So I'm already calling it. Frozen 3 is happening. The core of what made Frozen work was the sisterly bond between Elsa and Anna. That continues here, but they're also given storylines of their own to work with. And I think the overall journey of the sisters together works. However, individually, things aren't so great. Anna doubles down on being a basic bitch, but the writing is inconsistent. Like, whenever she's in scenes with Elsa, she's Elsa's rock. But then, on her own, she's this insecure loser who makes all of these mistakes and then is just rewarded for it. Like, I don't get it. I can't get into it. There are so many annoying things that I could point out about Anna, and it's unfortunate because I love Kristen Bell and she does some great voice work here, so good for her. But this character needed a lot more development, and they should have explored those insecurities within her. As opposed to that, we kind of go in and out of scenes and in and out of character with her, and then she just does actions that I don't think a lot of this makes sense. Elsa, on the other hand, has it down. She has a great journey. I love what they do with her character. The way she learns to use her powers in different ways, and she learns to be her true self and learns more about herself. Elsa really goes through a full transformation in this movie. It's kind of difficult when you look at how black and white it is compared to Elsa and Anna. One is so good and then one is so bad, but still it kind of, when you put them together, you're like, it's still fine. Anna seems to be the vision of the old Disney princess, and Elsa is the new Disney princess. Olaf is an annoying character, but they pump him full of so much humor that I could not help but laugh throughout some sequences in this film. I mean, it's just undeniable. There is one part where he is retelling the events of the first film in his own way, and I was laughing so hard. I was like, I don't know how you could not enjoy this part. This is the best part of the film. Kristoff, Anna's love interest, is reduced to pretty much nothing in this film. He has nothing to do. And it's really unfortunate because you can tell throughout the entire film they had no story for Kristoff. They have him trying to accomplish the same thing over and over and over again with no development, and at one point in the film, they get rid of him. They start a conflict to get Kristoff out of the way of the main plot, and then he just shows back up when they need him, and it's very convenient, and they don't address a lot of what I think should have been addressed between these characters. It just doesn't work for me. Again, there isn't the proper development where I think they needed it, and it's unfortunate because I do like seeing all of these characters together again. I would show up for Frozen 3 and see them continue, but it's kind of a bummer. You gave us a sequel, so explore this stuff. Give us some development. Elsa pretty much gets all of it, and everyone else is kind of left in her snow dust. I can't say this for a fact, but I am hoping that we all agree the number one problem with Frozen 2 is that there are way too many songs. I get it, it's a musical, but I thought that the first Frozen had standout musical numbers that worked within its plot. I'll admit, I'm just not a big musical guy, but I do love the animated classics, and they just so happen to be musicals, so I deal with it. And Frozen, it fit right in with those. However, Frozen 2, I just think that they, I don't know, maybe really wanted to have a Let It Go number 2, so they just wrote a whole bunch of songs and hoped one of them would stick. Honestly, I saw this last night, and I can't even really remember the songs. Like, there's one that I'm like, I got bits of it, but I don't remember any of these songs. They really didn't entertain me, and more importantly, I don't think they really served the plot. It didn't feel like, oh look, what a good moment for a musical number. Let It Go is honestly kind of perfect in terms of how to use a musical number in your film in the first Frozen. But in Frozen 2, it just feels like they stopped to say, hey, we need to have a musical number, let's just sing about whatever's happening right now. And they're really not that entertaining, they're not that interesting, and I doubt we're going to be hearing these songs on the radio for months. Frozen 2 has me conflicted. It does some good stuff that made me really enjoy it, but also it did some things that are really frustrating to me the more that I think about it. I don't know what I was hoping for, but I think if you're going to sequelize some material and start a franchise, don't just push things forward, give me a good story here. I would walk away saying at least the story between Elsa and Anna is still strong. However, I think that is imbalanced, and even that I can't say fully works. But I did have a good time. It's still entertaining, it's fun to see these characters having a fun, good time, and I think most people will too. I'm gonna give Frozen 2 a 3 out of 5. It's enjoyable, it's fun, but there's no way that it could live up to the first one. But I'm still on board for Frozen 3. If they can manage to write a decent story that works as a whole film, separate and not just in a franchise, cool. That's what I would like. If it takes another 6 years, if it takes 10 years, take as long as you need to get a proper story for me. What did you guys think of Frozen 2? Is it the sequel that you were hoping for? Let me know in the comments below what you think of it, what you would like to see from a Frozen 3, and what Disney titles you are excited for. Thank you so much for watching, I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I'll see you in my next one.